Welcome to Hashtag Sports.
Whoa, here we are, Paul.
Hey, look, we did a post-game, or we did a halftime show, and it didn't completely implode the rest of the game. That's what happened last week. Did a halftime show, completely regretted it afterwards. This time did a halftime show, a little less of a problem for Buffalo.
All
right.
I know there's one guy in Buffalo that's having some problems, and that's my elbow right now.
Yeah. So before you guys get too far into it, because of technology and the fact that it's clearly very dark outside right now, we did film putting Mario through a table. We will play that for you tonight once we get to so many viewers. Once we see that everybody's in, we'll get on there and we'll make sure to play that. Very excited to share that experience with you. Very excited. And Buffalo comes out on top. I see Men in the Kitchen says D came up big, shaky beforehand though. Yeah, the first half was tough, but the second half adjustments on the defense, what a difference. And you and I were talking about it. The defensive line of Mario Addison, Jerry Hughes, Vernon Butler, and Quentin Jefferson, I just like so much better than every other line rotation.
It does seem to generate a much more fierce pass rush. They push the pocket a little bit better. They really work on the integrity of the pocket where Carr was. But, I mean, nothing – I wasn't confused about anything that was going on as far as what the Raiders were going to attempt to try to do against the Buffalo Bills. So they were going to try to nickel and dime the ball with that West Coast offense of the spider through Y banana. And then that's what they were going to try to do. And you got to see that when where did Mario get the Ron Edwards jersey? Check reviewer. But as you started to see, when the Bills started to get a lead that was a little bit more sizable than the Raiders could handle, they couldn't come back. Which makes you wonder, if you're a Raiders fan, if you're watching this, you're a Raiders fan, how are you going to hope to contend with Kansas City if they put up points in bunches?
Right. Like,
what are you going to do? I know they were missing a lot of guys on defense. They were missing guys on offense. I understand that point of it, but it's not really an offense that is a juggernaut, go down the field in 4 plays and score. Right. So as the Bills started to get that lead, that was something that was going to work in the Bills' favor.
Yep.
I'm not. Am I concerned about the defense? Not as much as the chat. Mm-hmm. The chat is really concerned. I really think.
Well, I mean, this was another. I think the bend but don't break theory that applies here is not what you think of when you thought you were walking into the 3rd season of this Buffalo defense, right? I think a lot of people expected shutdown. You're going to keep teams under 20 points a game without even a concern, right?
Yeah.
Now, the Bills generate a lot of turnovers in the second half of this game. Didn't score many points off of them, though, right? And that, to me, is a little bit of a concern. Love the punch-out by Norman. Loved, really Carr fumbled twice, but one they called stoppage and forward progress, whatever to that. But, they were able to generate turnovers, which was great to see. Not many points off those turnovers, which are opportunities you're not going to be afforded against the middle part of the schedule. You can't generate 2-3 turnovers and score near no points against Kansas City. You can't do that. You got to take advantage of those possessions. And I know Buffalo didn't have to score off those turnovers from where they happened in the game, but I still want them. I still got to have them. I still want them.
Yeah, the fact that they've only scored 7 points in the 3rd quarter of games this year, in the 1st quarter of the season, is not promising. With you, when you want to talk about halftime adjustments, now I guess it's you could say, well, they were kicking off in the second half a lot of times, so there were teams that made adjustments for them and for their defense because the defense hasn't been able to get off the field. Right. All this other, and why is there 112 people in here, only 19 likes? The injury report on Mario, Stefon, is my elbow is killing. Yeah. We are going to be playing that video very, very soon of the table. Obviously, we promised it. We're going to deliver it for you guys. But we wanted to get through a couple of the points of the game first. Obviously, the defense is a big concern. Josh Norman coming in. We don't know the status of Levi Wallace yet. And, I mean, that all intertwined. You knew you were going to see Norman eventually.
Sure.
I didn't think it was going to be an injury. Yeah. But then it begs the question, when Wallace is healthy, what happens?
Norman, I thought, for a guy that hasn't been able to do anything for a month, right?
Yes.
I didn't mind Norman today. I thought Norman played as well as you could expect somebody to play who hasn't been allowed to do anything for a month. Right? I mean, that's just the truth. He hasn't been able to do anything for a month. So well, I'm all right.
I just caught one. Bilo0 said, why isn't Bass kicking it through the end zone? Is it a coach's decision? Well, you see, he brought out to the 14 the one time, and that ended up having a big swing for the Buffalo Bills as far as their field position.
Yeah, I think that's game plan, right? So if you're not worried about the special teams of the opposing team, you think they're one of the worst special teams in the league, then why would you give them to the 25? Like, why would you kick it through the end zone off the score? Why would you do that, right? You're going to roll the dice and take it, try and take it and eke out those 7 yards, right? That's all you do is you're trying to eke out 7 yards. But on a team that slowly moves the ball down the field, sure, why not? Take those 7 yards. Because that's another 2-3 plays they're going to have to run to get that 7 yards. A team like Kansas City, you're not doing that against them.
No, you're not doing that because they have some explosiveness.
Yeah, but they've got Jalen Richard back there returning kickoffs. You're kicking it to Jalen Richard and letting him try and do something with it. I'm not worried about Jalen Richard.
Okay, I want everybody in the chat. You guys are awesome. You guys are flying through with the chat, and we're going to get to your comments shortly. But I want to go. How many of you did your heart rate get over like 130 when Allen went down?
Oh God!
Type a 1 in the chat if your heart rate went through the roof when Allen went down in that game.
That was terrifying.
I was terrified. I was like, look at Raisin hoping Mario gets it. What? Yeah. What?
I'm
Addison or me? Like,
I'm at 1.5.
There we go.
Let me tell you why I'm at 1.5. The reason I'm at 1.5 was because he went down, but I would have been at a 1 had it been his throwing shoulder. Non-throwing shoulder, I'm like, they're going to just pump him up with whatever's legal, maybe even stuff that's not. Yep. And it's non-throwing shoulder, so he's going to get back out there. But I wouldn't be surprised if we see something similar to what Darnold just went through, right? Darnold, what was it, shoulder sprain?
Yes.
Yeah, and he played through.
You said non-throwing, so that was the thing. And I thought it was more of an AC joint then, which will be monitored throughout the week.
Yep.
Thank you to we got 145, 147 people here. This is great. Should we before we get to our next point and before we get to everything else, should we do it?
The video?
Should we do it
I think
now?
we
got $1.52. People are showing up.
Yeah,
I think if we get to should we get to 170 before we get? No. I did go through the table. We did not show it yet. I have the video loaded. You guys are going to be happy to see that Paul was successful in his plight.
That's right, guys. It happened.
It didn't go without concern and or chaos.
I had to make sure I had a healthcare proxy. It was a whole process.
Yeah, I had to sign a waiver and everything. It sucked. But okay, so without any further ado, we promised it. Well, we're gonna lay down another challenge for this one too. Mm-hmm. So we have to lay down another challenge for this one as well. So, without any further ado, enjoy.
All right. So all we needed was 150 likes on a live stream.
You sure it was 150?
To get Mario through this table. It was 175 to get him to wear this star jersey. And it was 200 to get us to drink a White Claw beforehand. Mario's salivary glands are already...
People voluntarily drink this?
For you, Bills...
There goes that sponsorship.
Is it really that bad? Are you struggling with this? Come on, dude.
I'd rather drink Robitussin around Bill Cosby.
Well, I'm excited about this. So we got to put Mario through this table for everybody in #Nation.
Y'all realize this can't happen, right? This physically can't happen.
Yeah, it's happening. Yeah, you ready?
No.
Remember people talked about last meals? How do you feel?
If that was my last meal, that's going to be absolutely atrocious. There's no physical way. You know what? I think I should turn the tables on him and put him to the table.
I don't think so. We all know I'd bounce.
No, Paul, listen. Seriously. I thought about this. No, I'm not doing it.
No, Mark.
It's not happening.
Choice. Mark, come on. I'm going to pick your ass up and put you through this table.
I think you know what's going to happen is I'll just end up putting you through the table.
Whoa. How'd you like that? Woo! That's what I thought.
sorry, you should have jumped. No, I'm not going off the top of an RV. I'm sorry.
Yeah, right.
Oh my God!
I think a lot of people are mad that we didn't light the table on fire first.
I don't know why challenge flag throw. It wasn't pre-cut. I swear to God.
Yeah, no, it wasn't pre-cut.
I'll even show you.
That was a
We got a bunch
legitimate
of
table.
them.
Yeah, that was a legitimate table that we had acquired. Actually, it was from my buddy Sean. He happened to have that table.
He just comes in and says we missed it. Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll play it again near the ad, but we do want to get to some more of this. Right, if you guys stick around for a little bit more, we're gonna do it.
Yeah, we'll
Mark
play it,
get a running start. Yeah,
to get his big ass off the ground. That is a fact.
That is a
fact. Yeah.
So we could try to talk about the game, but we talk about the first quarter of the season. Buffalo Bills are 4-0, 2-0 in the division.
Yep.
They are handling teams that we didn't think. I mean, we thought they'd have a little bit more trouble with.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not, but they didn't. They're scoring 30 points a game now. I think at the beginning of the season, if you asked any Bills fan about it, wow, really funny.
Yeah, people are really wishing for your doom.
I don't know.
According to the comments
Apparently,
section.
apparently that's what happens. I have that kind of personality. But I think if you told any Bills fan at the beginning of the season, listen, this team's going to score 40 points a game or 30 points a game in the first 4 games, and you're like, well, okay, I'll take that.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like the you always got to have balance in life. Okay, the offense is playing really, really well. You don't think the defense is playing very well. However, I think that's contingent on the score. I really think it's contingent because the Bills have been getting sizable leads in their games, and then the defense is playing a different style of defense. You know how that happens.
Yeah, but Mark, you even said it before we started the broadcast. The Bills have scored 7 points in the third quarter the whole year through 4 games. They've scored 7 points in the third quarter. That's a big issue to me.
That is it. Offensively.
Offensively, that's a big issue to me.
Yeah.
Right. Well, what I'm saying is that doesn't give support to your defense.
No, it doesn't.
Right?
It does not help your defense at all.
This is a yin and yang thing. You could really take whatever perspective you want. You can either say that the defense is forcing the offense to go out and continually score more points, or you could say that the offense, by taking a quarter off effectively, is putting more stress on your defense to be able to hold a lead. So. Again, I think you could kind of carve this argument up any way that you want.
Paul Berg, it's called cover none. So Anthony came in, he says extreme amateur opinion. No, we don't have those here. So that's how we roll. Edmonds look totally recreational. Any legitimate reaction? Yeah. Any legitimate concerns?
I mean, I have them with Edmonds, right? But today didn't really bother me all that much. Last week I had some major issues with Edmonds' level of play. This game I didn't really too much. I mean, they throw so much across the middle of the field, Las Vegas does. You're kind of stuck in having to just deal with whatever they throw at you. They're not a conventional offense in that respect. They throw a lot of mud right in the middle of the field, and they just see what washes out. I think that's probably one of the problems for this linebacking group right now is that you can really only react against that Gruden type offense. There's not much. You can't do much to prevent the flood of crossing routes and underneath routes that come through in that offense. It happens just constantly.
Well, we started to see. I mean, they lost the lead to Miami.
Yeah,
you had Shane Gailey, experienced.
Yeah.
Offensive coordinator in the NFL.
Yep.
McVay, who's probably one of the top 5, and then you coming against Gruden.
Right.
So. This defense was tested more than the offense, I think, in the first 4 games.
Yep.
Because you talk about the Raiders' defense, schmay. You know what I mean? They gave up 90 points in the first 3 games. You're talking about the Miami defense. You're talking about the Jets' defense. Okay, I guess you can. And the Rams' defense, who has 2 All-Pro players on it, and they still dropped 35 on it. So this offense seems to be clicking. In that respect,
you're getting buried for your 9-7.
I will. That's fine. I can take it. That's fine. But it was great. Thomas Burke and a bunch of other people even put it in. It said 0 punts. But you saw they showed the graphic. The first 4 possessions of the Raiders, they ended up scoring field goals and touchdowns, and then the next 4 were fumble, turnover on downs, stuff like that. So it was refreshing to see that from the defense. Even though, here's the thing though, the Raiders' offense is predicated on getting 4 yards a clip on every play. So I don't think there weren't very huge plays that the Bills were giving up. Like if you look at it, if you look at it overall, they get needled and dimed down the field, the Bills, and there's no really like huge play that ends up coming out and breaking them. So from that, I don't think it's that big of a concern for me because you can't hit that big play on the Bills. You can't.
Right.
I mean, the one got called back with Aguilar,
Sure.
but
Yeah.
Norman was in there for 4 plays.
Yeah, but Joe from Believers Talk says, if at the beginning of the game you say Jacobs only has 48 yards, how can't I be happy with that? Yeah, I mean, you bundled up Jacobs, who is really the straw that stirs the drink for that offense because they don't have a lot of receiving threats. Don't get me wrong, I like Hunter Renfrow, but I don't like Hunter Renfrow that much. And Nelson Aguilar was Burn City on everybody. We know the secondary doesn't handle pure speed all that well. We know that. No. But when you have a player like Jacobs and you have an offense that runs a ton of short routes, you're bringing that secondary down so much, it's easy to get burned over the top. That's why a player like Ruggs, although we all kind of criticize the draft pick, it makes schematically a lot of sense.
Yeah, in this offense it does. And if you think about it from the standpoint of if the Buffalo Bills came into this game saying, listen, we have to stop Jacobs, as Paul said, he's the straw that stirs the drink. They limited him to 48 yards. Okay, so what are you going to have to give up in order to do that? Well, if they could beat us with their receivers, then we're going to make them beat us with their receivers.
Right.
And that's what the Bills their philosophy coming into this game probably was. It's like, okay, listen, we're going to concede some of the pass so we can stop this maniac that's in the backfield for the Raiders. Maybe that was the game plan, and if they gave up some more in the past, they gave up some in the past. I would rather have a Derek Carr 300-yard day when he's trying to come back from a sizable lead than a Josh Jacobs 125-yard day where the Bills are sitting there going, oh, my God, we got to play for the last possession and this and that. So I think in that respect, I could kind of see what the Bills were trying to do.
Sure.
And if they gave up a few more yards on that, they give up a few more yards on that.
Yeah,
you know?
Rick says Josh Allen updated stats through 4 games: 105 for 148, 71% completion percentage, 1,382 yards, 12 TDs.
12 touchdowns.
That's a big deal.
That
That's
is
a
a
big
huge
deal.
thing. That is a huge
But
thing.
we talked about it all offseason, and for those of you who have been members of Hashtag Nation for a long time, you've been along for the ride. As they were making acquisitions in the offseason, it was, how can you say that the Bills aren't going to throw the football this offseason? Like, it was apparent with everything that they had done the last 2 years that their goal was to throw the football an absolute ton. And the question became, can Josh Allen, 1, succeed in an offense like that, and 2, we've never seen what? You're What are you thinking about?
I'm trying to think. Let me see if I can go through the memory banks here. Okay, you acquire both Brown and Beasley.
Yeah.
You trade your first-round pick for Stefon Diggs.
Yep.
And then you draft 2 more receivers in the same draft. What would give you the inclination that they want to throw the ball more, Paul? And you have a quarterback in his 3rd season that you have to know if he's the guy. You have to know.
Right.
All right, let's surround him with all these nice new toys and see if he can do it. You know what? By that stat line, he's doing it.
Right.
But it's got to be a play calling, right?
Oh, no. Good thing that chair's on wheels. Good thing it's on wheels. Spin wants me to own up to everything I said about Brian Dable. I will not. I will not. And there's two major reasons why. One is we saw a couple questionable play calls today.
We did.
Where they were calling screens at odd times with pressure, something that you would expect Allen to check out of, right? Because it was just really a bad look against a screen.
True.
And they threw him into the dirt both times, right? They threw him right straight into the dirt. Allen ran backwards, threw him down. You know, it wasn't the best look. So that's where I start getting some Dable issues because there's clearly not a check and balance system here. And that concerns me when you were talking about Josh Allen that's performing the way that he is. There still have some training wheels there by not allowing him to check out of that play, right? So I have some issues with that. 1. 2, there were some plays that worked out phenomenally well today, but wouldn't have had a different, like they were clearly, like it was clear before the snap that it was going to work. And Dave, it was just a fortunate call at the right time.
I've been of the mindset that just because a play results in a positive gain doesn't mean it was a positive play.
Okay.
So, for example, if you call a play and then Allen has to scramble for his life, and then he has to finding a guy that ended up finding a seam, and he gets in there for like a 15-yard gain. Oh, that was a great play call. Sorry, no, it wasn't. But an interesting thing brought up by Tim Ellington. He said, Dable is an amazing play designer and trainer. His weakness is play calling.
Yeah, and Paul Bergevie said the 3rd quarter is awful.
Yeah, and you could say this. I mean, if we can relate it to, I'll bring in Paul's wheelhouse here. It's like coaching first base versus coaching third base.
Oh, major difference.
It's like
Major
you can know what you're doing over at first, but you don't
Not
know
the
what you're
same
doing
at all.
over at third.
Not
So
the same at all.
it could be one of those things. Like I will never say that Dable is an idiot. Every offensive coordinator that's in the NFL is a guy. He's there. They know football, okay? But it's in the fire, in the flames that I think sometimes he gets ahead of himself, and the players are, that play that he went deep to Diggs.
Right.
He ended up underthrowing him.
It was
and he
underthrown,
caught it.
yep.
That was all Diggs.
Yeah.
That was all Diggs. If he drops that, what are we saying?
Yeah.
There's a punt, and then maybe they come down. But
Well-
they end up scoring subsequently on that drive.
And that play where Diggs, mossed the cornerback, that ball was 10 yards underthrown. Like it was 10 yards underthrown.
It was.
Because Diggs straight stopped.
But that was still, it was such that route was amazing. If Allen puts it on him, he
Yep.
scores.
Love it.
So-
I see Clayton, CG Clip 716. Have Dorsey called Dable's plays then? I don't know. We have some concerns about the relationship between Dorsey and Allen and Dable and how all that works. I know it sounds strange, but we've got some concerns. That'll probably be an episode.
Well, Spin said, look at his play calls in the red zone where it counts the most.
Yep.
He does have some. But
Yep.
do you attribute that to the execution of the play, or do you attribute that to the play call itself? It's all about execution. And you know what? Be honest with you, I'm not impressed. There's no defense that they've faced this year that's going to be top 15.
Right. CG says, why is Dable in the booth again? Dable, that's where he wanted to be. Like, that's where he was in
I think that
Allen's
was
rookie
rhetorical.
season. Oh, yeah.
I don't think you can
The
put him on the
snacks are
field.
better. Yeah, the snacks are better.
Yeah, I think he wanted to know
really
something
snacks
about
are
a Diet Pepsi or something in there. But yeah, I know, exactly. It's like,
175 likes, and Paul calls the organization to ask for an autographed Dable jersey. Can you imagine?
Spin said both to my question.
Okay.
So, all right. So if you have a if you have a very poor play design and Diggs mosses somebody on an Allen scramble, was that a part of the design?
The one thing I will
Or is
say,
that part of the, you know what I mean?
one thing I will say is that the line definitely gave Allen more time today than we saw the last couple weeks. But we saw a bunch of line changes. We saw Spain at right guard instead of left guard. Well, at least he got in the game, but he wasn't in there for the first half. So we're seeing a rotation across the offensive line with different matchups. And like Spain got sat down last week, and this week he didn't start either. Winter started at right guard. Cody Ford started at left guard. And I guess I'm struggling to understand that dynamic a little bit of where they feel they can put Spain. But, I mean, I like Spain.
Yeah.
I'll take Spain at left guard. I'll take Spain at right guard. Until Feliciano is healthy, I don't think there's much of a discussion. But playing Cody Ford a lot right now tells me that they feel Quentin Spain and Brian Winters are disposable once Feliciano returns.
Yeah.
That's what that says to me.
Well,
But
Joel says that you sound like haters of Allen refusing to own up. Dable is doing a great job.
I'm certainly not going to hate on Josh Allen, right? I think there's a lot of things that he needs to learn still, and I think that's what Dorsey and Dable's job is to teach, right? There's a lot of things, but we saw a lot of pluses here. Saw Josh Allen throw footballs away this week.
Here's my
I was
problem.
praying for that, but then we saw it in the fourth or third quarter where he was running around in a situation where, again, just throw the football away, and they went out of field goal range, and it was now a punt, and that's something you got to take back and say, listen, these are the mistakes that, we got to get out of this football game. So I do put that on Dable. I don't put that on Allen. And if there's an issue where the communication isn't there and Allen isn't listening to Dable in those circumstances, then that's something that needs to be fixed. So I'm not going to own up to saying that Dable's great. I'm not going to own up to saying that Allen isn't. I think there's a lot of communication that still needs to happen in certain circumstances on the football field.
Well, G-Rock, I'm just reading the chat now. G-Rock says that, do we miss Shaq Lawson? I don't know if that's...
I think Addison brings more than Shaq Lawson did.
I think he does.
I think Mario Addison brings more than Shaq Lawson, so I'm going to say no on that.
But as far as Dable's concerned, here's the thing. Other than this channel, I mean, I haven't seen it too much around, but we don't get out much, Paul. Mm-hmm. I haven't seen it too much around. However, when his rookie season and last year, play calling, a lot of people were down on Allen, wondering if he is the guy. Nobody was talking about Dable in the national media or anything else. Everyone was talking about Allen. Is he the guy? So when the play calling and the execution was not there last year, other than this channel, where did you hear anything about Dable? Okay.
Yeah.
Now that the Bills are scoring 30 points a game, now it's all Dable? I'm confused about this thought process.
Okay, I'm gonna say something that I think we all know. If you take Stefon Diggs out of this offense,
oh my God,
I think we're back to 2019. I think we're back to 2019. Diggs is such a weapon. He's such a weapon, and I said it, and I will repeat it again. Diggs is still the best first-round pick that Brandon Beane has made. I know that includes Josh Allen. I know that includes Tremaine Edmonds. I know what that entails. But look at the difference between what this offense was last year versus what it is. It's a vast majority of it is Diggs. Because they're playing, it's a carousel on the offensive line.
It opens up so many things. I mean, the emergence of John Brown, which we didn't think was, but now he is a number one wideout. Mm-hmm. He was a number one wideout last year for the Buffalo Bills. Now you bring in Diggs, who is unquestionably just an animal. Mm-hmm. You got 1 and 1A, 1A, 1B, as we talked about all the time. Right. So all of that being intertwined, then you got Beasley underneath. You still have Knox. Like Knox is going to be the forgotten man very, very soon in this offense, where he's going to have a breakout game very, very soon because everyone's going to take away everything else.
I think I saw 3 tight end screens. In what universe do you see tight end screens in the NFL? Like you don't see them very often.
So
like
that's Dable.
I'm just saying it is. It's different. I don't know if it's good. It is different. Only one of them was completed, so
calls, yeah.
Yeah, only one of them.
Croft has done very well. I mean, John Calvin comes in. Thomas, wait till the postseason. Can we talk about the lack of holding calls? Yes, I saw it all day today.
The reffing in this game was terrible.
Knox being used as a fullback. I think it's an H-back, Pierre. Is it fullback or H-back? Was he being used as an H-back or fullback? If he's off the line, if he's 1 yard off of the tackle, that's more of an H-back than a tight end.
He was in fullback sets.
He was in fullback sets.
Yeah, he was in more fullback sets.
Okay.
I will say that. See, Clayton disagrees. He says H-back sets. I thought I saw him deeper than that. Okay. I will say that the reffing in this game was terrifying to me.
Consistent with how bad it's been.
That was a touchdown by Brown. You can't talk me off that ledge. Mm-mm. You cannot talk me about that ledge.
You got to call that a touchdown so that they will review it. Yeah. That's one of those things you got to do it.
Nope.
Let's say Gary's cover 1, Buffalo Matt Farina, Dan Mitchell, as well as Joe talked about Dable last year. I don't know if it was in a positive light though. I don't know. I know Joe probably had his reservations. I don't know about Fanatics or cover 1 or Perino. I don't know. I know Mitchell probably had trouble with. I don't know. I can't remember.
Okay.
Did they have trouble with Dable? I don't know. I can't remember. We argued about him.
Every week.
You love Dable.
Oh, God. I'm going to push you down a flight of
stairs.
stairs.
You go as him for Halloween, please?
Yeah.
Can you just buy
as Brian Dable?
It's Brian Dable, yes. I'll buy you a pillow. You just put it in.
That. Yeah, we can do that. The reffing in this, I want to get back to the reffing. There was an illegal block in the back called against the Raiders that was not. It was on Milano. It barely got touched.
Yeah.
There was some questionable calls, and the I really that you can't talk me off the ledge that wasn't a touchdown to Brown. It 100% was a touchdown. Can't talk me off the ledge. It's got to be.
No, I don't. I don't want an emergency call. Someone asked about Allen's stats. I'm going to pull those up for you right now.
Aren't they on the ticker?
I didn't put the Allen's rushing stats on the ticker.
Did he have? He had rushing stats today?
Shockingly enough, I think he may have taken off a few times. Allen was 3 for -1.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, 3 for -1.
So
yeah, that's right.
if it was the Raiders' philosophy to try to keep him in the pocket and beat him with his arm, he eventually did that. Mm-hmm. So, it just seems that this offense, to me, having been together now for a year, just seems crisp. Just seems very crisp. And you could say Allen is the straw that stirs the drink, but like you mentioned earlier, Diggs' infusion into this offense is the antithesis of what's happening down in Houston.
Oh, okay. Explain what you mean by that.
You want to talk about... Oh, by the way, Benjamin Murphy, thank you so much. How many likes to get Paul to dress up as Dable?
Oh, man.
What
are we at right now?
Wait a minute. We're at...
What are we at?
Let me stretch this out a little bit because this is happening.
Let me see. We're at 111 right now.
We're at 111. We need
111.
Oh my God, was it 175?
We got 230. 175
on a 230. That's a good percentage.
That's a good percentage.
Start smashing that like button. Here's what I mean by that.
God, I
You
have to dress up as
enter.
Brian Dable.
You look at the Bills' offense. All right, we'll get to that. You look at the Bills' offense last year minus Stefon Diggs, and that's pretty much the only piece you added. You know what I mean? You took Gore. Okay, Gore's out. And
Right.
Croft is back in. Okay, you can do that. He's a very valuable piece. But you look at this offense now. You put Stefon Diggs into this offense, 30 points a game. They're clicking. They're moving the ball. They're scoring points. It's great. You look down in Houston, what happened? They had a very potent offense. They were making the playoffs. They were making runs. You take Hopkins out. By the way, what does Bill O'Brien run? Oh, the EP system, just like Brian Dable. Okay, you take him out of that offense. They're 0-4.
Yeah.
So, and they're struggling down there. So, I know a lot of things have happened to that offense. You got Cooks in there who can't stay healthy. You got Will Fuller who plays like 4 games a year. But the point is this, all of that intertwined, everything intertwined in there, you start to see how that, okay, what does one player do to this offense? And we're starting to see it as far as Stefon Diggs goes. And it's helped Josh Allen out immensely. It's shifting coverages by himself.
Right.
So all these other things are open for Josh Allen underneath. And he's getting Beasley, he's getting Brown, he's getting everyone.
I was worried today with no Beasley. I was worried.
I worry when Beasley's not in there.
Well, he brings a dynamic that, I don't think you can expect from Diggs and Brown, right? Because if you take Beasley off the field, now you're subbing in Gabe Davis or Andre Roberts
And they're
or
not the
Isaiah
same skill set.
McKenzie.
Well, McKenzie's he's not the same kind of route runner, but he's a
No.
similar type of route runner.
Right. But that takes McKenzie out from behind the line of scrimmage, which is often when he's utilized in the offensive packages. So, again, you're asking him to do some stuff that you're just typically not asking him to do. One of these days, will Josh Allen please, on those jets where McKenzie runs over and then just basically goes and makes a cup of coffee near the sideline, nobody even bothers covering him.
Oh, they'll hit him.
Someday will they just throw it to him?
They will.
Because literally he's got a mile in front of him. They don't even bother to cover him. The last 2 games, nobody covers him.
You're so angry right now.
I'm just saying, it's like an easy 20 yards. Just
Okay,
throw it over there.
we're at $137 for Paul to dress up as Brian Dable.
Getting close. Getting close.
$250 million after he gets his ring.
I'm gonna wear like a Cheetos stained T-shirt, right?
Yeah,
Just
this is true.
Yeah,
this is true.
Yeah,
hey,
it's
MDL, thank you for the donation. Who said it? Matt. He said Allen's shoulder is concerning. Non-throwing shoulder, so I'm not too concerned about it.
Well, I saw somebody else mention it in the chat. I don't remember exactly where it was. I will find it and give credit where credit's due, but asked if that was... John. That was John Calvin. Did the Raiders stop Josh Allen from running? I think that's game plan. I mean, it's this game and the game before that. Allen really hasn't been, he hasn't been a runner. Like, it's just not an integrated part of the offense right now. Honestly, the offense looks better without him doing it.
It does.
I mean, maybe that's just me.
Did we have that discussion at halftime about would you make him run now because he hurt his shoulder?
Yeah, we did. We talked about that on the halftime show. And again, it's those. I think the stats are probably reflective of the kneel downs because there were kneel downs to end the game, but there was also the rushing touchdown. So, but that was 1 yard.
Stefan said 200 likes. You shave your head and grow a beard.
Oh God, no, I don't know. Nope, I can't shave my head, guys.
It doesn't look like a cue ball. It
no,
would not look nice.
It's like a cone hat.
I know he wears.
I
know he wears a hat pretty much everywhere and probably in the shower. But the point is that he doesn't.
Somebody on the community
he
tab.
Can't shave his head.
Somebody on the community tab for my birthday said, "I bet you got a hat for your birthday." I was like, You sure did.
He definitely got a hat.
I definitely got a hat for my birthday.
He'll look like a certain someone else.
Next week is the game happening. Bills Titans. Is that game going to happen next week?
You know what? It's too early to tell with all these cases coming out and everything. I mean, somebody even suggested before should they just shut down the league for 2 weeks?
I think at some point you're going to run into this problem again.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Shutting it down just over time is just not going to work, right? But I think you're going to see next week's game be in jeopardy. I think it is of the most likely circumstance that the game is canceled. Or postponed, rather, to another week. Which is going to push the Bills bye week early. Whoa!
Good
Lord,
Lord,
you
Paul.
hats! Actually, funny thing.
Damn.
I just got the text of the promo of the new hats for hashtag. So I just got the
we're putting
promo.
We're putting half of that to punt.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
We're throwing half of that to punt.
Yeah,
thank you,
that
Paul.
over to
That's
punt.
amazing. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
sir.
thank you, Paul.
Wow.
Yeah, he's great. I love Paul Burke.
You guys had run-ins for quite a while. It was fun.
Just a little bit. We all play nice in the sandbox eventually.
But Spin was talking about, Paul, I don't want to spend too much time about Dable here, but we were talking about Dable, and then the other guy we were talking about was Dawkins. I know we saw some things from him today that we didn't like very much, but the kind of rushers that he was facing today was not. I'm not even saying that.
A children's small.
No, the one underneath that.
Oh. Yeah,
you saw somebody today. That being concerned, were you concerned with? Are you concerned with this whole shit? Because I'll say this: on the Saturday night tailgate, which I'm on with Clayton Garrett and Mookie Hawkins. Right. If you guys, it's over at the Cold Front Report. If you're not following them over on YouTube, Facebook, every other social media site, please go follow. Those guys are awesome. Yeah. Saturday night tailgate, we talked about. He said, "Listen, Mookie said that it's like the whatchamacallit."
This is a great story, Mark.
Yeah, I know. What? I got distracted.
Whoa, okay.
Whoa. Can I get a video on roster moves Brandon Beane needs to do to help the defense out? Love the content. You guys are my favorite channel. Bills News. Money for a new table.
Yes. Wow. I will promise you. I 100% promise you that video. Yes. Wow. You will get that video.
I'm in awe over that bad boy.
Oh, my goodness.
He said the first 4 weeks of the season. But MDL 0838. Thank you so much. That's wow. But you talk about the first 4 weeks of the season, no one had a preseason. So could this be that some teams are using the first 4 weeks as their preseason to test things out?
Yeah, I think that's a good point when you look at the way they're mixing up the offensive line, right? So I get it, right? I definitely get it. But, it's scary to me, right? Whenever you see that movement across the offensive line, that stuff starts to get scary to me because then you start running into offensive lines are predicated on communication and consistency, and you're intentionally not doing that right now. You're still winning football games, so I don't want to say that you're not.
Well, I didn't think he was. There was trouble with it when they made that switch.
No,
I think it still worked, but that just goes to tell you about the versatility of this line and how good they do communicate.
Well, to me, these are auditions, right?
Yes.
Because your roster's big. Yes. You got Feliciano coming back. So is this a conversation of does Feliciano? Do we need how quickly do we need to bring Feliciano back? Do we need to bring Feliciano back? Are we good with Spain the next 2 years after this at right guard? Winners you picked up off the scrap heap essentially. So,
and Williams too.
Right.
Spain was the last guy that was signed though, like in that free agency period. Nobody won. But we just want to give a shout out to Bill Stampede as well. Thank you so much. The Bills lead the league in drop passes last season. Mm-hmm. Diggs is definitely a factor, but catches are being caught. Loving this ride. Let's go Bills.
Oh, one thing I want to point out. Zay Jones will not sell out to catch a football. That pass from Carr was fingertip ready.
He should have dove.
He could have had that. He could have had that.
Wow.
I'm glad that we exercised that deep.
22 likes away from Paul dressing up like Brian Dable.
We're getting there, guys. We're getting there. I am not going to be able to explain this one to my wife. Not going to be able to do it. It's going to be a tough sell, but it's going to happen. Font too big on that? For the hat?
No.
You want to? We can go down a little bit.
We can go down on that a little bit. Yes,
okay.
As well.
All right.
Talking about the hats that we're going to give you guys. Hey, Mama G's in here.
Hey!
Have a great idea if you get all your likes. Still in line with Paul playing table.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful.
What's soft, Clayton? What happened? I don't even know what happened. You think the line was playing soft? V2 Hype XX.
That's, I think, a first comment ever. Because I never would.
What up, V2? Yeah, we would definitely notice that.
Yeah.
Thought of Edmonds, I think he's been playing terrible lately.
Okay.
Oh, Zay Jones, yes.
Yeah, so regarding Edmonds, right, I think this game is a really tough game to be critical of Edmonds, again, because there's a big just wash across the middle of that field, right? What I'm most critical about is Milano, not Edmonds, okay? I needed Milano to step up a little bit on Witten and step up a little bit about Waller when he was in line. And I didn't see that. So, I mean, that's just me. I don't know about you guys. That's just me.
I have a different opinion about Edmonds.
Okay. Well, I mean, first off, let's unpack real quick. When we talk about Edmonds, the things that we're always concerned about.
Yes.
His rookie season bid on play action really bad. Last season we saw an improvement in that.
Yes.
But this year it seems almost like he's overly patient, right? And letting things get past him. Maybe I'm reading that wrong, but it seems like it's the complete opposite of what we saw last year.
He's trying to do too much.
I think so.
But before I get to that, Shiva's Gold. I don't want to give you money for a new table, but take some money for beer. We'll get the Modelo again, Shiva.
Oh,
we'll
yeah.
Get the Modelo again.
Yeah, that Modelo was good.
We'll
That was
get
a
that
nice
Modelo
one.
next
Thank
week.
you for that last year.
If Paul is day while Mario is talking. You want me to dress up to be the snowman? I can dress up to be the snowman.
It won't be hard.
Who do you think feeds these guys? I love it. Donnie Brooks said.
Mama G hooked us up with
did.
a DiGiorno because we did not come prepared with food.
We did not. We had technical difficulties.
It
with
was
the food.
delivery. It was delivery, DiGiorno. How can we not figure this out? She dropped off a DiGiorno. It was delivery. You can get DiGiorno delivery.
Sorry.
Sorry.
This is like the channel for like.
Sorry.
What were we talking
ADD.
about? No, here's a go.
Yeah,
we
whatever.
talk about the. What were we talking about again? I think if Edmonds is this. Edmonds, I don't think, because nobody is at this point. I'll just say that. I'll put it on the table. Nobody's 100% right now after 4 weeks.
No,
I think he's hurt.
Okay.
I think he's hurt. I think he's playing through something.
But they marked
Where
him up
he's
as a
not-
shoulder. So.
But you're a middle linebacker as a shoulder. Like, you don't think you use that?
All right, yeah, well, I get
It's
it.
not like Allen has a shoulder, left shoulder. He's got to tackle people.
Yeah, I get it.
Like-
I get it.
No, but I think, that injury, not having the full, 4 weeks of preseason, even though they don't play all the time, not having a full camp. He's in his third season, so his body's acclimated to getting ready, and he's a young guy. But I just think that there's something more wrong with him. But I do agree with you on the Milano point. I want to see him do more. I want to see him do more. But I just think that I think that Edmonds, you may see him pop up on an injury report either this week or next week for something.
Well, and if the game gets canceled next week, that's perfect timing, right? Because
Oh,
Milano
yeah.
and Edmonds are still banged
They
up.
are banged
Wallace
up.
just went down today. We really don't know much about that.
Yeah.
So it's going
I
to
think
give Norman.
hyperextended his knee.
It'll give Norman another week of practice, which again he has not been able to do. So let's again clear the air on that. Norman has been activated, and he was not allowed to do any activities with the team while on injured reserve.
Yes.
So him being asked to play today was a really big ask. It was a really big ask because
Yes.
he hasn't touched anybody in a month.
Yeah, and he
right?
got physical right
Right
after
away.
about a quarter.
Right, yeah.
About a quarter.
Yeah, right away.
I think
right
it's-
away.
yeah.
Well, they tested him right away, as they should. Even though he's a vet, this guy's been hobbled up for a month, so you're going to go after him. Of course you're going to go after him.
The 32 years young,
Hey.
Josh Norman.
Hey, that's all right. I'll take Josh Norman any day of the week. I really will. I think he's going to make this
What, to
defense
dinner?
better.
We
I
got
mean,
a-
he's probably paying.
We got 168 likes.
Oh,
We need 7 more. We need
so
7 more.
close. You're the math teacher. You tell me.
I know if it was 175 or 200.
175.
It was 175. Okay.
Yeah, 175.
Thoughts on Bass?
A little concerned about Bass.
Yeah, the pro
Right?
shop is kind of concerning to me. I don't know what he's doing.
Well, this is Buffalo, so whenever you say Bass Pro,
Bass Pro.
yeah, people just shiver. Yeah.
Hunting season already started.
Oh, we're at 178, Tim Ellington
now?
says.
Okay.
All right, okay.
Oh, I was 175. Laces
All right,
out.
there we go.
All day. Laces
There
out.
we go.
Way
There
too
we
green
go.
for me.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, you know what? It could be something. Kicking is like golfing to me.
Rhythm?
I think it is. I think it. You talk about Duvall. David Duvall was a great golfer, but when Woods came around, he got the yips.
Well, he had
Bass
vertigo.
can have the yips. Well,
David Goff got diagnosed with vertigo. I mean, there's a big difference between a guy getting the shanks and this. We're not.
point being.
Oh, God. All right.
Point being is, I think he's in his own head. He's a rookie. He's trying too much. I think, but it is rhythm. It is. It's kind of consistently rhythm, and he can do whatever he wants in practice. He can try to get acclimated in that respect.
Counterpoint.
Go ahead.
With as many touchdowns as the Bills are scoring, extra points should not be something he's struggling with.
Always on the
Left. Always on the left hash.
You gotta,
Always
when he is on the left hash, he drills these
Well,
bad boys.
except that extra point today. He leaked it out to the
Well,
left.
he did leak
But
it,
everything
but-
else has been right down the middle when he's on the left hash. When he's on the right hash, we're doing the lean.
Doesn't help. Bojo is horrible.
Bojo's actually been pretty decent
Well, I'll
this
say
year.
this.
Except that punt today. That punt today was terrible. You should kick.
We haven't
Jesus.
seen it yet, though. We haven't seen it yet. But do you think that if one of these games, do you think the special teams will cost one of these games? Being that they get a lead, teams come back, a special team thing here and there, because Allen's not really putting the ball in harm's way.
No.
He hasn't been
No,
really doing that.
That's true.
Singletary's not putting the ball in harm's way.
Yep,
These
that's
receivers aren't fumbling. The defense is bend but no break.
Yeah.
So do you think that the special teams does something.
It's the run defense.
It's the run defense. You
That's,
really think
that's
it's
the Achilles heel is the run defense?
But would you concede the run if you were up 15?
Well, 15?
15.
What quarter? See, these are all the things.
Third.
Yeah.
8 minutes left in the third quarter. Are you
Yeah.
conceding the run?
No, I'm conceding the run in the fourth quarter because the Bills have only scored 7 points in the third quarter of every game. So I'm not giving up anything in the third quarter. Let's just be straight about that.
That saved the TD. Naveed came in and said,
Yep. Yeah, that was a great. Did you see him? He tackled Rashard and then stood over him like this. Look, Tyler Bass, you're me. Get off the field. You're me. Come on.
Yeah, that is true.
Oh, hold on. Let's see. Gary said, excellent point from Naveed. Bass saved the TD. That was the comment. Okay. How many?
I'll throw in for the bag of Chex Mix.
Drafting the Chex Mix is happening. It's required at this point.
I got a headset. I got a gaming headset he can wear too.
Oh, yeah.
So he'll definitely wear that bad boy.
This has to happen now.
Tribute music video from Paul wearing his Dable outfits.
Yeah.
He is a musician.
Don't worry, guys. It'll be chronicled. There's no way it won't be. If you guys enjoyed my workout video, I'd imagine it'd be something similar.
You would sing some Hootie and the Blowfish for Brian Dable.
I don't know if Hootie really describes Brian Dable. I'd have to come up with something. I'll come up with something. That'll be great.
But you know what? The philosophy. Here's the thing that I get confused about, and it's not because if it ends up going to the point where the Bills are gonna get up 14, and then they just run the ball, the famed run pass punt thing. That would you rather have that than what's going on currently?
Well, I mean, we got it in the fourth quarter today, which was the first time we've seen it all year, right? The Bills.
That's what the EP is, though. It's pass to score, run to win. That's the philosophy of the system.
Well, the Bills have not been running the football.
That's what I'm saying. That's why teams are coming back.
Yeah. Well, and I think one of the things that you end up running into there, right, to mind the pun, is that when you go out and you attempt 3 passes, you're only taking 25 seconds off the clock.
True.
Right? So you're not, if you have a lead, you're not really doing yourselves any favors, right? Yeah. I think if you have a lead going, like, and the half is coming up, maybe you run the ball a little bit more in your last possession in the second half if you know the other team's going to be getting the football. You got to start controlling that possession. The Bills didn't do that.
No, they didn't.
They didn't. They gave the ball back to the Las Vegas, and they were able to move down and score before half. And then guess what? They got the ball right at half again. And that's a problem. I think you need to manage that game a little bit differently. It's those minute details as far as managing a game that I still take issue with as far as the decisions that are made. So when people say Dable's doing a great job, that's awesome. I hope he gets the Jets job. You know, like, that's great.
Why would you wish that upon anyone?
Well, because I know how it's going to go.
Then we got Chex Mix, bars, trail mix. Trek Reviewer wants me to dress up as the 2002 offensive tackle Mike D. Williams. Everyone's saying Frazier mailing it in. I don't know. I mean,
I like this. I thought they did a good job controlling the team in the second half.
So is that the narrative that we're going with? Because it's weird, though. It's weird. Right. Offense is clicking.
Yeah.
Allen's doing what he needs to do.
Yep.
Brian Dable's a great play caller. Mm-hmm. When people are saying the defense is letting this up, that's one of the first times I heard Frazier's name.
Yeah.
So why is it?
Oh, that's Frazier's problem.
6'1", not 6'1", one half dozen the other. Yeah. It was that's what I don't get. Like, I think Frazier, because to me Frazier has a track record of performance with this defense.
Yeah.
So in that respect, he starts. Teams are rushing or passing on the Bills. They're still like top 10 in the league in rush defense.
I feel hypocritical at this point, and let me tell you why. Because for the last 2 years, we have talked about there's going to be a lot of film on this defense. Teams are going to know how to attack this defense because there's a lot of film because they're primarily incumbents, right?
Shiva said that.
Did Shivas just say that? Yeah, it's absolutely the truth. You know, the Bills have 30, 40 games with this group of players. Like, this is what's going to happen. They're going to teams figure you out in the NFL. So teams are figuring out that with Buffalo, you can move the football down the field on the interior if you're running a zone concept. Like, it's not hard for teams to see that and figure it out. Now, the question is, are the Bills going to be able to adjust to that? Because the Bills play a lot of zone run concept teams that they haven't played before, right? Like, if you go back and look at the schedule last year, there weren't a lot of zone concept teams on there.
No.
Miami doesn't run zone concepts. The Jets don't run zone concepts. The Patriots do. But, I mean, so you're looking at, But look at Miami now. Miami runs a ton of zone concepts now. You look at the schedule they're playing right now. You're looking at Vegas. They run a ton of zone concepts. You look at the Rams. They run a ton of zone concepts. So I think that there's some exploitation here because there's so much film on this incumbent defense.
Yeah.
So you agree with me?
I do.
Okay.
Randall Walford says, you guys act like Josh Allen's Russell Wilson. I don't know if that's supposed to, that he's proven, or, I mean, he's been performing this year. I mean, that's as far as I'm taking it.
John Calvin, Josh Allen can body slam Russell Wilson.
Yeah. It says, Chris says, sign Earl Thomas. That's like, to me, that's like having a filet and lobster and saying you want scallops. You got Hyde and Poyer. Like, what do we need a safety for?
I mean, I'm just going to say it. AJ Klein is not Matt Milano's replacement. You signed AJ Klein to a 3-year deal with Milano in a contract year. I think the thought process is, let's see how this goes. If Milano goes down, AJ Klein can play. I'm not an AJ Klein fan right now. If Clayton's still in the chat, I think he will agree with me 1,000,000,000%. I am not an AJ Klein fan right now. Yeah. So, do I think we missed the opportunity to get a real nickel linebacker in here? You had all offseason to do it. Bills chose not to do it and go with what they had. I think the Bills really could have benefited from a true nickel linebacker. They don't have one.
What about Dotson?
No.
You don't think so?
Well, he's not playing nickel then.
Don't yell at me, Paul.
I mean, I'm just stating facts here.
I'm just saying.
I think that if there was to MDL's question earlier, if there was an addition to be made, nickel linebacker was it, and they didn't make it.
So you're not confident putting Edmonds and Dotson there?
No.
Okay. I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind seeing. I wouldn't mind seeing it. I would.
Thomas Burke, Klein is
Chin.
cement
Oh,
feet.
don't remind me about Chin.
What?
Apex.
Jeremy Chin?
Yeah.
Jeremy Chin is a hammer. A hammer.
Don't get me started.
Love Jeremy Chin. Love Jeremy Chin.
You know, it's like okay, the Bills need to go out and get a Miles Jack. Or like a Peppers.
Yep.
Or
Davis said Mark Barron would have been nice for that nickel
Barron.
role. We talked about Mark Barron before the season started.
Mark
Yeah.
Barron.
Well, yeah,
Roll
it would have
Tide,
been nice.
Baby. Roll Tide.
Oh, get out of here.
Roll Tide. Chill, Randall. What do you say?
Oh no, talking about it. What Super Bowls has Josh Allen played?
No. You start to see the progression. I mean, I think probably when Wilson started, I mean, he had a different path because he ended up transferring schools to show that he can play in a pro style offense, and he came to
1 year. He played 1 year in a pro style
and he ended up picking it up, and he was the guy that I mean, you got to.
He beat out Matt Flynn, the amazing Matt Flynn.
Well, Matt Flynn punched a clock. Wilson was there before everybody and left after everybody.
True.
So you got to talk about the work ethic of the kid.
Yeah, absolutely true.
No, he's not. I'm not saying he is Russell Wilson. What I'm saying is that he has made significant strides from his second to his third year, and that's basically what we're celebrating at this point in the 4-0 season.
I will say that the one step that I'm really glad Josh has made is that he's not throwing guys to tackle anymore. Right before he would throw guys, and they would be every throw was late. Right, and the guys would be tackled immediately.
Some chances now.
Immediately.
That
and
throw
now
to Brown that should have been the touchdown.
What a great throw!
Good Lord!
What a great throw! And great route. You know, just shakes it. I don't know how. That's a lot of faith to throw that football. That's a lot of faith to throw that football. But Allen's got the arm to wait.
Apex just said. So Russ Wilson is an absolute stud and has been. He has. Josh is a different type of player. Mm-hmm. I mean, there are two guys that you have to wait. But here's the thing about Allen. In his first few years that Russ really had it right away. Russ would scramble to throw.
Right.
His eyes were always downfield.
Yeah.
Always. And he still does that. So
well, and that's one thing that we've seen less of from Josh today was he didn't have to make time in the pocket. There was one instance where he made time for absolutely no reason and took a sack and knocked us out of field goal range, but I'll stop being bitter about that in about 10 minutes. Caden said, are you going to talk about the Titans game? Different dynamic for the Titans game coming up because they're coming off a bye week, right? Normally, they wouldn't have a bye. They've had advanced time to prepare for the Bills. They've had a whole extra week to prepare.
And a year of revenge to think about it.
You really think that matters?
It's Vrabel, okay? He's a spiteful bastard.
Yeah, that candle's been burning for a few months. All right, I'll take that. I think I did not worry about the Titans game in mass of the season, but now that we're talking about the Titans coming off a bye week, that's a little different to me.
Well,
I have a little bit of a different perspective on it. I'm a little concerned about it.
I would be concerned if it was the Rams getting a bye before they played the Bills. Give him McVay 2 weeks to dissect his defense a little different.
Okay, I think the point still remains, though, that the NFL is going to do everything they can to not postpone that game because they've already postponed one Titans game. Doing it again is going to have to extend the season, and that's something they do not want to do. They will not want to do that. So they're not going to want to push that Titans game off. They're going to try and play that game. They're going to try and play it. Like, they're going to have enough time to know who is impacted by this. And if there's enough players on the roster, the NFL is really going to push them to play that football game. And coming off the bye, I'm just concerned about.
It's money to them. That's why. That's why they're going to try to play it.
Right. Well, exactly. It's 100% about money.
Oh, yeah.
And if I were the Bills, I'd be concerned about that. Right? But with all that being said, I really do think like it is of the utmost likelihood that game is postponed. And we see an extension to the season. Yeah, I think the NFL will do everything they can to not do it, but I think the Players Association will freak out. As well as they should, right? As well as they should.
Did you want to talk about Tennessee really quick?
Yeah, I think there's some cool
about
things.
If they play, you're saying?
Yeah, I think there's some cool things about Tennessee that make them a different challenge for Buffalo that we haven't really seen, but there's also some similarities here. So, like, you get a player like Derrick Henry, right? And what kind of big bull rusher have the Bills played so far this season? I mean, Jacobs is it, right? That's the closest thing you're going to get to a bull rusher. And Henry is a totally different animal than Jacobs.
He is.
Totally different animal. And against the way this interior is... I'm not answering
Where'd
that
Jacobs
question.
go?
Roll Tide, I know. So, the interior game is a problem for Buffalo. So Derrick Henry is a big problem for Buffalo, especially having rested, right?
Okay.
That's a problem. They also have a physical wideout in Corey Davis, and they have a speed wideout in A.J. Brown. I'm good with the physical wideout with Josh Norman. I'm good with that, right? But you're
worried about A.J. Brown on
Trey because he's not going to have the help over the top, right? Because they're going to focus on stopping Henry and Jonnu Smith, who's like on fire, apparently.
Goff versus Tannehill. Who are you taking?
Tannehill.
Are you serious?
Yeah, absolutely.
You're taking Tannehill?
I'm taking Tannehill because
Goff.
there's 54 games of film on this defense. Goff doesn't make a single call. McVay makes the calls from the sidelines. Tannehill's, 11 years into a career at this point? I'm taking Tannehill to move the pieces around. You've got 54 games on this defense. I'm taking Tannehill.
Well, and we do have to recall that even though the Buffalo Bills defeated the Titans last year 14-7, it was Mariota that was playing, not Tannehill.
Exactly.
It was before they went on their run.
Yep.
And we understand that.
Yep.
I mean, the ghost of Christmas past. Tannehill was taught the quarterback position in the NFL by Adam Gase. So
that is a scary notion. Now that you mention it,
I mean,
scary notion.
I don't know if he can move, he can run. You could say that with his height, his arm, and his legs, he's a NutraSweet version of Allen.
Okay.
So they're not going to be shocked by a player that can run around like that.
Yep.
He's got a better arm than Fitzpatrick and more mobility than Fitzpatrick, but he still tries to thread things here and there.
Mm-hmm.
Henry, the presence of Henry is tough, but I think if you still load up Jefferson and Butler, they're going to.
The comment section is torching me. First out, shout out to Wyoming from Ebby. They're telling me, well, Stefan agrees with me, Goff is overrated. Caden says Bills D is Tannehill's daddy. Davis Bryant says no way Tannehill over Goff. Sorry, Paul, we own Tannehill. That's hard to argue with that. Tony B says Paul takes Tannehill over Goff. Take him to the tent and check him for a concussion.
After you put me through a table, I check in for a concussion. Absolutely. Shout out to
Mario. Ever hear of Shockwave?
As little.
Didn't we whoop Tannehill in 2018? That's Miami. That was in Miami.
That's a different animal. I mean, we can talk about it. But I think this would be a great time since we are, about an hour into our broadcast?
Yeah, about an hour deep.
So we are once again going to show you the payment of the bet, basically. When I said that if we got to 200 likes, I would slam a White Claw, wear a Star jersey, and Paul would put me through a table.
Yeah, we will actually release this as a standalone video
this
as well.
This will be a standalone video. Yes, standalone video. And Stefan, thank you. We will get to that point where we come back. Vic Beasley will be back for the Titans.
Don't like that.
You don't like that. No,
Don't like that.
So
like that.
before we come back, we're gonna play the video and then we'll be right back with you guys. So enjoy Paul beating the ever loving you know what out of me. So
I wish we could have proven that the table could actually hold something, because people are saying that we did something to it. We didn't do anything to that table. You gotta trust me.
Always $1.50. So don't worry about it.
All right, so all we needed was 150 likes on a live stream
You sure it was 150?
to get Mario through this table. It was 175 to get him to wear this star jersey. And it was 200 to get us to drink a White Claw beforehand. Mario's salivary glands are already...
People voluntarily drink this?
For you, Bills...
There goes that sponsorship.
Is it really that bad? Are you struggling with this? Come on, dude. Down
I'd
there.
rather drink Robitussin around Bill Cosby.
Well, I'm excited about this. So we got to put Mario through this table for everybody in Hashtag Nation.
Y'all realize this can't happen, right? This physically can't happen.
Yeah, it's happening. Yeah, you ready?
No?
Remember people talked about last meals? How do you feel?
If
Your
if
last...
that was my last meal, that's going to be absolutely atrocious. There's no physical way. You know what? I think I should turn the tables on him and put him to the table.
I don't think so. We all know I'd bounce.
No, Paul, listen. Seriously. I thought about this. No, I'm not doing it.
No, Mark,
It's
we
not
don't have a
happening.
choice. Mark, come on. You know I'm going to pick your ass up and put you through this table.
I think you know what's going to happen is I'll just end up putting you through the table.
Whoa, whoa. How'd you like that? Woo! That's what I thought.
That's what you look like when you opt out.
Well, it's nice to see Star hit something this year. Yeah, oh yeah, that's right. Now we want Mookie to eat wings with ranch.
He is.
That's gonna happen now.
Buffalo
Mookie lost
Bills
a bet.
scored more.
Yep.
Nice jump. Thank you.
Paul
was there too.
Gravity.
Zima
Paul was there
power.
too. Zima power. That's it. Powered by Zima.
Oh,
The
God.
question is, what flavored Jolly Ranchers were in the Zima? That was the old trick. You drop Jolly Ranchers into the Zima. Not that I'm into that sort of thing, but I did happen to own Zimas. I don't know why. But I just
you
happened
do
to
with
have
the
some.
white table, I would bounce.
Yeah. Do
you guys think I wanted to go to the hospital today? There was a table. It wasn't pre-bent. It wasn't pre-broke. It was just older than both of us combined. And he put me through it.
I will say that I would challenge literally any other Bills YouTuber to put themselves through a table. I don't know. There might be footage out there. I don't know if there is,
Yes.
but I can't say that I've seen it.
Okay, I need a better hop. Yes, my vertical is I can get over a Niagara Falls phone book. That's pretty much about it right now with my vertical. But
Haven't had Zimas in years. Do you know where I can buy it? Yeah, an antique store, Tim. That's where you can buy Zimas.
oh my God. But yeah, I mean the Titans game. We're gonna have legitimate concerns. We probably will release another video this week.
Yeah.
We're gonna have the roundtable again this week, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure Dan, Joe, and Clayton from Cold Front Report, Believers Talk, and Don Mafia Report. We're gonna have those guys on as well. Put Greg Thompson through a table. Good Lord, I can't do that.
You mess up his hair. He's a big guy about his hair.
No, he's a big guy regardless. He's like about 250, 260, something like that.
Whoa, I didn't know he was that big.
He's a big dude.
No
So,
thanks.
ladies and gentlemen, be on the lookout for some
No
more
thanks.
episodes. I'm going to remix that so you guys can actually see the table and a couple other angles and stuff like that. So, that show is awesome. But, yeah, that all being concerned, Buffalo Bills are 4-0.
Well, wasn't there something that you
About
said
Vic
you want-
Beasley?
Oh yeah, Vic Beasley.
I think we hit on
Okay.
that right before.
All right.
That's a scary thought, him coming back. And because
Well,
I wanted him
it's
here.
not something I'm loving.
No, I
Dawkins
don't.
is not the greatest against speed rushers.
No.
Bills really haven't seen any real speed rushers, if I'm remembering the first 4 games correctly.
Not huge ones, no.
Yes, but Beasley's a totally different animal in that respect, so that's a little concerning. Same with Darrell Williams. I'm not comfortable on either side against speed rushers.
No.
I'm not comfortable there
not
at
at
all.
all.
Yeah.
I mean, but that being said, we will definitely cover the Titans. We'll definitely have our roundtable. We'll have a couple other episodes for you. I am for the members. If you guys saw it today, hashtag members of Pro Bowl and up. I actually released a video of a play breakdown. I'm going to try to do that once again for the Titans to show a play that they customarily run that you could see during the game. This week I released the Spider 2Y banana.
We saw like 46 times.
We saw it
so
throwing out in the
much.
flat all the time. So we wanted to thank all of you for your donations tonight, coming on, contributing to the chat. You guys are unbelievable.
You do have to own. Bills are going 5-7 from here on out, huh, Mario?
I do.
You stayed at 9-7. You're still staying. They're going to win 5
until they
games.
win that 10th game. I have to stay to it.
You're right. Yeah, you're absolutely right. We
I
are a
gotta
man
stay
of
to it.
principle, so I understand.
I'm a man of
dying on
principle.
that
I
hill.
can change my mind just like anybody else, but I was so steadfast in that you know what, 12-4, 11-5 seems very, 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 very likely right now.
Yeah.
So I'm not.
If you guys didn't see,
if we were in the NFC least, it'd be so much better.
Sure.
They're 2-11-1.
It's terrible. It's terrible. The one thing, if you guys didn't see it in the video, in the hashtag 30 for 30, when I'm pumping iron, I'm wearing my Bills A.J. McCarron jersey because I died on that hill.
He wanted McCarron.
I wanted
so bad.
No. I said the Vikings were going to take McCarron.
Oh yes.
So I picked the Vikings to lose every game.
They took Bridgewater
that season. They took Bridgewater. They did take Bridgewater.
32nd.
32nd. But I guaranteed McCarron was going to go to the Vikings because he was the best quarterback in college at the time, and I picked them to lose every game that year because
He lost money just picking the Vikings to lose because he's that man of
It was
principle.
bad. It was so bad.
But yeah, like I said, we will catch you. Obviously, we're gonna have the round table. We're gonna have the breakdown for the members. If you do want to be a channel member, you just go down right below this video. You can hit the join button. You can join the practice squad, the 55-man roster, Pro Bowl, All Pro, or Hall of Famers. We're gonna be releasing more stuff. Hall of Famers, we're gonna do that call.
Yeah.
We do that call after the round table.
Okay.
So we're gonna have that call after the round table on this Wednesday.
Do we want to tell the Hall of Famers about sending that stuff out, or we got to get a hold of them? Do we just save that for the Hall of Fame call?
We'll do that for the call. We'll
Okay.
do that for the Hall of Fame call. But if you guys, like I said, if you want to be part of that, we're going to do that. We're going to have film breakdowns as well. I'm soliciting the services, obviously, as I said before, of my brother, and we're going to be breaking down some film. So you guys always like that little live spin that we had. So until next week, or the next episode that we come on, for Paul, I'm Mario. This is Hashtag Sports. Thank you for joining, guys, and thanks for riding.
Go Bills.
All right.